We live in a world that's obsessed with speed, right? But what if the real key to progress, to innovation, is actually to slow down? Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea from Dr. Partha Majumdar's Random Thoughts 2 that challenges our need for speed and offers a whole new way to think. Deeper, not faster.
I mean, think about it. We're constantly told to be more efficient, hit those deadlines, move faster, faster, faster. But what if the path to real understanding, to genuine breakthroughs, isn't about speed at all?
So the first big idea we're going to tackle is something called learning in reverse. And trust me, it completely flips the script on how we normally think progress is supposed to work. Dr. Majumdar has this fantastic term for it. He says we're chrono-trained. Our schools, our jobs, they've all conditioned us to race against the clock. It's all about stopwatch efficiency, which often means true, deep understanding gets sacrificed just for the sake of speed.
The author's own story is a perfect example of this. He started at what you'd think is the top, building these incredibly complex AI models for the telecom industry. But he hit a wall. To solve the really hard problems, he realized he was missing the why. So what'd he do? He went backwards. He started digging into the fundamentals, first of wireless and then all the way down to digital communications. He literally had to go deeper to get wiser.
And this quote just nails it. Knowledge isn't some ladder you climb step by step. It's more like a web. You can start anywhere on it, but to really get it, you have to trace the threads back to their source. That's how you build real, solid understanding.
Okay, so this is a cool idea, but how do we actually apply it? Well, this whole journey of learning in reverse led to a really practical model for thinking, a framework the author calls the 3D framework.
The first dimension, the first D, is data. This is where we all start. It's the information right in front of you, the problem you're trying to solve, the observable facts of the situation. Simple enough, right? The second D is Dharma. And no, this isn't about religion. In this context, think of it as your inner compass. It's that little voice inside that says, wait a minute, I don't really understand this. It's about the humility to admit what you don't know and the curiosity to chase the questions all the way down to the source, to find the real truth. And finally, the third D, decisions. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's about having the courage to actually act on that curiosity, to choose the deeper path, like going back to study the fundamentals, even when everyone around you is just yelling, move faster. So there you have it, data, Dharma, and decisions. A simple trio, but together it's a profound model for making choices that are not just smart, but actually wise.
All right, so let's put this framework to the test. How does it stack up against one of the most complex, hyped-up topics of our time? Let's look at artificial intelligence through this 3D lens and see what happens.
You know, the framework immediately helps us see AI not as a competitor, but as a collaborator. AI is absolutely brilliant at processing massive amounts of data with incredible speed. But humans, we excel at totally different things, understanding context, using judgment, feeling empathy. The goal shouldn't be to make AI more human, it's to combine these very different strengths.
This quote just sums it up perfectly. We should let AI be our tireless analyst, our information-generating powerhouse. But the responsibility for the moral, strategic, and ethical decisions, the judgments, that has to stay with us. That's the human part of the equation. And this leads us right back to the decisions part of the framework. How do we decide where to apply these incredibly powerful new tools, like generative AI? Well, it all comes down to finding the right tool for the right problem. Let's look at Google. Their Dharma, their guiding principle, was to make search way more helpful. So their big decision was to augment their tools, not replace them. They wove Gemini AI into search and workspace to understand what you really mean, not just the keywords you type. It's turned into a proactive assistant that can synthesize answers and automate routine stuff. Or how about Morgan Stanley? Their guiding principle was to empower their human experts. So their decision was to build a Gen AI tool that acts like a co-pilot. It can instantly search through 100,000+ internal documents. This frees up the human advisor to do what they do best, build relationships, and provide strategic judgment. And then there's Unilever. Their Dharma was to be more customer-centric, so they decided to use Gen AI as a tool for empathy, but at a massive scale. It analyzes millions of customer reviews to understand what people are feeling and identify unmet needs, letting them listen deeply and create products people actually want. So let's bring this all back to that central theme. This choice we're talking about. It's not just about technology.
It's really about the fundamental mindset we bring to our work and to our lives. And here you can see the two mindsets side by side. On one hand, you have the chrono-trained mind. It lives by the timer, fuels quarterly growth, and is totally focused on speed. On the other, you have the Dharma-aligned mind. It lives by purpose, fuels enduring value, and focuses on depth and meaning.
In our super-fast, information-saturated world, this might be the most important takeaway of all. Choosing to slow down, to think deeply, that's not a weakness, it's a revolutionary act.
So, I'll leave you with this question to ponder. What could you achieve? What problems could you solve? What incredible value could you create if you just gave yourself permission to go deeper instead of just faster?